Good morning, everybody. It's Dave from Flash and Dance DJ and Production Services. It is a beautiful, glorious day here in, I would say, middle New England. Anyway, today I have a masquerade murder mystery that I'm going to be running sound for. This is my buddy, George. He's a house guy over at White's of Westport. He was hired in to do this, and as we all know, everybody needs to go reset, needs to enjoy life a little bit. So that's what he's doing right now. He's actually on a cruise out somewhere, I think, off the coast of Texas. I think he has another week left. We were talking yesterday. He said he had another 7 days. So, it is. I tried to talk him into going on a cruise with me a couple times. He didn't want to go, and then all of a sudden he went, and now he's addicted to it. So, anyway, headed to my storage area where I keep a lot of my equipment. I have work I got to do this morning. Tonight, like I said, I got the murder mystery for him. Tomorrow, I have Dark New England's Haunted Trail cast party. It's a haunted house that I'm involved with. I do audio, special effects, all that kind of stuff for Harrison, the owner. We're going to East Providence, where the haunt is based out of. And like I said, it's a cast party. I think at least 4 or 5 cast members sent me a half dozen requests. And you have to kind of figure out where you're going to do that. We have a person who works there. He's one of the AV guys. He does separate stuff. He's more of a photographer and videographer for the haunt. He also does a lot of the multimedia stuff outside the haunt, meaning that if you have the haunt on Instagram, if you have it on Facebook, you'll see shorts and reels and things like that. And that's where a lot of his content goes. A lot of the work he does for the haunt ends up there. So I figured I would take you along my day today and show you what's going on and show you how I prep for a weekend full of events. And as we go along, I'll check in. So right now I'm actually driving to the storage location, and then I have a couple of things I got to do there before I even start working on my stuff for my business. So I will check back in with you. All right, how's everybody doing out there? I'm just making some minor adjustments here with my camera and stuff, so I apologize. Okay, now that's better. So I am here in my storage area where I am. As you can see, I'm all packed up for tonight, ready to go for the murder mystery. But I am gonna go to George's house to get the uplights, which is gonna go in the open area in front of my case, in front of my dolly. But right here, as you can see, I've got some geysers, obviously some power cables and stuff like that. And then I've got a moving case here. I got another one here, and there's another one right here. So what I'm about to do is open this up, and in here, so this is where my control for lighting is. So I actually have 2 different ones depending upon what I'm doing. So I have an Express 512 and I have a 1024, which are both of those. So what's cool about this is this gives me, if I'm doing something like tonight where I'm doing just uplights kind of thing, but I'm not doing uplights around the entire room, I'm just doing some uplights, I'll use this one. If I'm doing a 2-3 universe type show, I use the 1024. If I'm doing 2 universes, because it's 512 is 1 universe, so 1024 makes 2, and then I'll add that as the 3rd one. So with that being said, I am going to put the camera off to the side in a minute. Just going to go run and use the bathroom real quick, and then I'll break this stuff out and show you what I'm doing. All right, so here's something I realized. Well, if I'm going to work on this, I need DMX cable. Well, here's the problem. See the black bin that's right there? It's buried behind all this. I've got to unstrap all this in order for me to get to it. So I'm going to pause the video, clean this up a little bit, get to that. And then once I get one of my short, I don't know, 5 foot, 10 footers, I will then turn the camera back on and we'll head back inside the garage and we will work on the programming and I'll show you how I do that. All right, and now here we are. So I've got a, I don't know, 10, 20 foot, probably a 10 footer DMX cable. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up my computer. We're gonna pull out one of the Platinum 5s. We're gonna pull out, I'm just trying to think, do I wanna do single universe tomorrow or do I wanna do 2? I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna do double. I'm gonna do 2 universes. So that means this is gonna come out, this is gonna come out, these 2. This can now close and get put off to the side. Just a little bit. Pull out the mover A case. Do this one. Okay, now what's cool about having these room cases is here's my Platinum 5s. So now, is that how you can use them as a work surface. So today, one thing I've got to do is, or tomorrow morning, when I come back here, actually I don't need to lock these, I'm just going to put the lock mechanisms in the upright so that I can put the case back, is I need to figure out how to make a tiny bit more space. I think I know what I'm going to do. It's just a question of how easy is it to do it. So now with this, the first thing I do is I grab the DMX cable and plug this in first, wrong side. Oh wait, no, that's the right side. I was looking at it wrong. Okay, once I know that's connected, this can live over there. I need to turn this around. And then I need to grab a dual extension, which is right here. Because one of which I gotta do is plug the light into. And then I'll put this on universe 2, that there. I'll let the light boot up. And here's one thing that's cool that everybody's gonna get to see. I just put this case together. This is my lighting case. So now I have to grab everything I need, see, to get my lights up and running. All right, don't need this. And when I was doing the wedding a couple weeks ago, I went to try and do some things and I messed up. I didn't do some pre-testing like I should have. So when I got on site to use my HP lighting laptop, which I wasn't using that day, things didn't go quite as planned as I wanted to for the ceremony. And I'll be talking about it in a planning tech tip Wednesday. Okay, so now let's make a decision on how we're going to do this, and I think I did. I'm going to put the computer over here. This has to go in my other case. This has to go in this case. All right. So now this is the easy part of this whole process. Extra one of those, which I don't need right now. I do need this. Hope everybody's having a good Friday today. And I'm just setting things up so that way they don't fall over and move on me while I'm doing this. Okay. I gotta clean that off, which I'll probably do later on. Usually the computer is tucked away anyway where nobody can see it. I don't think I have a paintbrush kicking around. That's one thing you'll find with production, guys. We will have paintbrushes everywhere throughout all our stuff, and that's because we clean stuff. Ooh, give me 1 second. Let me take a look over here. Nope, there isn't. So that tells me I need to spend the money on another one, which is okay, because it'll be something worth the money. Sort by name. Sort by name. And another thing is coffee. On a day like today, where I'm trying to use my brain and get things flowing, I will use my brain. Okay, so I'm just going to show you this real quick. So here is my lighting laptop, and as you can see, I got Show Express right here, and that's what I use for lighting. And watch what it says once it boots. Say one interface found, 3 ArtNet. So that's what's cool about having that particular kind of unit, is you get 2 DMX universes and you'll get a few other things. So now this is the glow party. This isn't really what I want to use, so I'm gonna look through my light shows real quick. So I have open. So I have up lighting and 4-bar, and I have a startup. Let's take a look here, see what the startup is. Okay, startup is completely empty, not a big deal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load an older light show, okay, so I'm gonna move this so you guys can actually see what I'm looking at. Okay, so when you want to open up a light show, this is what comes up. Well, I don't want to do it that way. I actually want to do it this way. So you're going to see exactly what I do sometimes when it comes down to this. So what I'll do is I'll move this here. And I have this folder called Dark New England. That is part of the light shows. So the way Show Express works is it puts things all in root folders. So under users is my name. And as you can see, lighting controller 1, lighting controller 2. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go here. And what I'm going to do is open up a secondary one. File Explorer. And yes, this is a window-based machine, and normally you see me on Macs. And that's because DJing Mac is more stable. So I'm going to go here and take a look at this. Okay, so that is one of the lights within the Dark New England stuff, which is the haunted house I'm working tomorrow. So I'm going back into the same directory. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my older folder. Let's make this a little bit bigger. I think I want to take a look at this one, I think. So what we're going to do So let's scroll over a little bit and see 11/3/24. So that was created last year. Come on. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this one here, because it does have the geysers built in, and I might use the geysers tomorrow. And I just got a message from my buddy George. He's, like I said, he's out on his cruise. Even though he's out there, he's still in contact with the venue, and they are telling him that he thinks that it's in the ballroom tonight. So he told me double check, which I will. So now, as you can see, there's the Dark New England one. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so now what we got to do is we got to go through and remove some things and things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this. I'm going to go through, clean this up, and then I'll bring you back so you can see what's going on. All right, so one thing I noticed while I was doing this was that some of the programming isn't touched on all the lights. It's only on one. And that was probably because I changed stuff onto one, which isn't a big deal. I'm going to have enough time to change up some of the programming tomorrow. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to set bases for today. So what that means is this fixture right here, which is number 2, has everything programmed, and I'll show you. So everything's right here. So that one is fixture number 1, as you can see. So now when I do this, now it's on. Okay. So what that means is so this particular gobo isn't set, which is supposed to be the blue spider floor. Which is that one. So what that means is blue spider floor that's the particular gobo. So now you can't really see it. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to adjust the focus a little bit. See, and so that gobo to me almost looks like a spider. So that's why I called it that. So now what happens is I go here, goes to the next one, and now what I do is I just click along. So tomorrow I will reprogram these 2 actual spots. So as you can see, it's very simple, and this is why I like Show Express, because it's this simple to reprogram one thing. And these are actually really old fixtures. They're probably 15 years old, I think. But as you can tell, they still work. They're workhorses. They're the Elysian Platinum 5R spots. And for the longest time, they were a mainstay on concert tours and other events in the live event industry. So as you can see, this is my layout. So now where these aren't working, I can just do this real quick. And now I've set all the colors for all of them. So that's what I'm going to do now. Is I'm going to do the same thing here. So that way, if I want to change the color tomorrow, it'll be easy. Okay, so I am not going to waste your time and keep this boring. I'm going to continue on doing this, and then I will get back with you when I get ready to take off to head to my friend George's house and do some programming there, because I have to do some uplighting programming there. So I'll be back with you when I get on the road. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting ready to pack up and head off to my friend George's house. And right now we are getting ready to, oops, I'm trying to get you all situated here so you can actually see me. I'm learning all this new stuff, so bear with me. I am just packing up the trailer a little bit. I'm just trying to think about, I'm actually not plugging in, that's right. I forgot about that. However, I am going to grab another EMX cable. So that way I have two of them out. And it'll actually save me from having a headache later on tonight. Because other than, actually, no, I don't even have to, I don't think. I think I've got all my audio wires in there that I'm going to need. So that's all situated. I have tape out, which will be good. I'm just trying to grab my ratchet strap for this set. And this is one of the other reasons why I like to have things set up in such a way in here. Okay. So let's get this all strapped back together. Okay, good. This will take me a minute to do. All right, I can actually live on top. Okay, so that's all set. So now let's get things back to the way they were. All right. So that's all together. Tonight I won't need any of this. That's the thing. Tonight will be is going to be like this stuff. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to finish packing this stuff up, and then I am going to get off to my friend George's house. So I'm going to put the elation away so it's ready for tomorrow. I'm going to grab an extension cord. I'm going to grab my projector. I have some video in my video box, and I got some video stuff at George's house that I've got to do. And I got to grab some HDMI cables as well. And we're going to go from there. All right. I'll talk to you guys when I get over to his house. Good morning, everyone. It's Dave from Flash and Dance DJ Service. I am off once again this morning. Last night was awesome. It was one of the best murder mysteries. The storyline itself was the typical whodunit, like Clue type thing. Just that the actors who played everybody within the company part, they were all awesome. And as usual, the person who ends up dying in it, they end up coming back as the detective, which makes for an awesome storyline, because people question the detective. Oh, weren't you the other character? And they have to play it off as nope, I am a detective. So it's kind of cool. They walked all around. I had to use my fins last night, and where I placed them on the sides of my left and right mains, they blended in so well nobody could even tell that they were there. So I'm off to the Dark New England Haunted Trail Cast Party. It's down in East Providence, so I'm getting ready to do that. Just getting on the road. It's 11:17 now. I should be there just before 12, I'm thinking. I already talked to the owner of the haunted house, Harrison. He was shooting for 11:30, and I was going to message him and say, hey, sorry that I'm a little behind. It took me a little bit longer to pack the trailer because I've never been inside the main area of the Bright Ridge Club where we're gonna have this party take place. So what that means is I've got to scope it out first, and then I can do all my setup. So with that being said, I will try and do a time lapse again, like I did yesterday, which you should have just seen. I didn't catch a teardown time lapse. And most of the time, I probably won't do a teardown time lapse because, I'm trying to get out of a venue. Like yesterday's that you saw, I ended up moving the camera. So, that would be one of the reasons why. But yesterday, I wanted everybody to have an over-the-shoulder view of stuff that I was working on and fixing. So, with that being said, I'm going to say I'll see you on the next clip. I don't know if I'll have anything during it. I will try to have some pictures to insert for you guys. And then I will have my closing thoughts about the entire weekend later on. So I'll see you then. how's everybody doing? Post-editing Dave here. Just wanted to touch base on a few things about these wonderful events. So the Murder Mystery went off awesome. No issues. The people who were part of Murder Mystery Inc., I think it's called, or Murder Mystery Group, they showed up. I talked to them as they rolled in. They were starting to do their prep out on the tables, put it was for the Billionaires Club Masquerade Ball. That was the whole preface of this. And it's midnight at the Masquerade Ball, basically. So everything went smooth with it, as I said, in my Sunday and my Saturday morning wrap. And things went good. Everything was great. Got through it, got out of there really quick. And then the next day you saw the part of the gig log, did the cast party, which was awesome. I never know walking into it what Harrison's going to do. I'm sorry I didn't have more pictures, and I'm sorry the time-lapse side. It was just coincidental things like that happen, because sometimes when I'm personally involved at an event that I'm DJing, I get more wrapped up with going around talking to people, saying hi that I haven't seen in a while, so I apologize about that. However, there is the one picture that I inserted so you can see the final setup. I always make sure I try and grab one of those. So, and then also I do record every event I do. So I do have all the cocktail and all the dance music for this. So I will be posting that once I edit it and I get it up on Mixcloud. I will post links in the video description below so people can jump over there and they can listen to it if that's what you choose to do. Also, was an interesting weekend as well. For this weekend, not from that one, but I'm jumping ahead a little bit, and it will be more, I'm going to do more talking about this past weekend and an upcoming gig log, because I was at the Jetty, then I had a family wedding we went to, so I'm almost at the point where we're 1 week behind now, and I'm also putting my schedule together, and this coming Wednesday, don't forget to tune in. It's going to be not really a tech tip, but I'm going to walk you through my trailer. Not everything. It's going to probably be a little bit long video. I'm going to be honest with you, 45 minutes to an hour, I would think. But I'm going to show you what is in my trailer. I'm going to basically have, I'm going to do a couple edits and splice things together. And what I mean by that is I'm going to talk about the way it's laid out, why I have it laid out in the trailer. Then I'm going to pull things out of the trailer and go through the cases, show you what's in there, how I'm starting to evolve them, what I'm starting to do with it. So with that being said, don't forget to subscribe, like, make sure you hit the notification bell so you know the next time I release, whether it be a gig log, a tech tip, or something else. I'm sorry that, I'm trying to shoot for 10 o'clock, but sometimes when multiple things are going on, like yesterday, I came home from the wedding, I was really tired. I had an emergency thing that happened on Thursday I'm going to talk about coming up, and for the gig log from that one, I will talk about that, because something very, very big is in the works for Flash and Dance, and I'm proud to say it's going back to my roots of where I started. So with that being said, make sure you learn one thing every day and treat people the way you want to be treated. See you on Wednesday.